Givony. How do you feel about Givony before we get into this? Are you a Givony guy?
Major. I want to be Givony.
You do?
Hmm.
I've never known this about you.
Yep.
No, no love for Schmitz, no love for Vecini, no love for the other NBA guys.
They're not. They're not. They're not bag focused. I think like Givony is. Givony's about that bag, and I'm with that.
So like Givony's like, here's my charge for a positive tweet.
Hmm.
In that case, how much do we think Zach Edey paid him to move from mid-second round up to projected 14th overall lottery pick, which is what happened
I
today?
don't know, but something needs to be addressed about that, and
Okay.
I think that's what we're here to do with this topic. I'm guessing.
Yeah, so Zach Edey rose on the draft board up to 14th. That is in the lottery. Zach Edey is a lottery pick in the latest projections, according to Jonathan Givony. He is one of the biggest names in NBA draft circles. Like for Purdue fans that might be unaware with how the NBA stuff works, like if Givony is listing you in a certain spot, that's usually a very good indication of where you could go. As Carter is alluding to, there are some questions on like where are Givony's motivations coming from. He definitely supports and promotes certain players that have financial ties to things he cares about. With that said, this is super notable because Edey has always been a projected second round guy by everyone collectively.
Hmm.
There have been people who have listed him as like he's not getting drafted, but he'll sign a two-way. I think everybody is correctly confident Edey will play in the NBA in some form. I never, ever, 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 ever expected Zach Edey to come back to school and be listed as a lottery pick. What do you make of this change?
Okay, so we are getting back to our sleepers roots here, and we need to find the middle here.
Hmm.
Okay, Zach Edey is not a lottery pick in the NBA. He isn't. I know this draft class is weak. I know that Zach Edey's National Player of the Year back to back, and I think he is an NBA player. He is in no way, shape, or form a lottery pick. If he is a lottery pick, I would have serious questions on one, why, because there needs to be some motivations behind that in my eyes. But also, Zach Edey to me isn't some like second round, 50th range pick whatsoever to me at all. So I think it's more of a middle type thing. I think Zach Edey is a first round pick, but like I think Zach Edey's a player you get in the 20s, not in the lottery.
In the
Uh,
first round.
I think he is a first rounder. I do think he is a first rounder, like late first round in a bad draft. Um, I think that if a GM picks Edey in the lottery, though, they'll be fired within the year.
Interesting. Okay. How much of this year's draft being a quote unquote down draft matters to you? Because it is. This is the worst draft I think we've seen since the Trey Burke draft, which was horrible. And Giannis came out of nowhere. Like nobody had Giannis projected as a top 10 pick. If Giannis wasn't in that draft, we're still looking back on that draft as like the worst draft ever. Giannis kind of saved it. Maybe there will be someone internationally that saves this draft. It could happen. But is it going to be Edey? Like, could Edey be a long-term guy? I don't know. But is it because this draft stinks that like people are like, well, why would we not put the generational college basketball player higher?
It does factor in 100% because I mean, if you just narrow it down to not even the international guys, you just go down and you're like, who is the best American draft prospect or like guy who's playing college basketball or G League Ignite right now? And all those guys are stocked down, right? Buzelis stocked down, Ron Holland stocked down, Isaiah Collier stocked down. It's just there's no real certain thing. So it definitely plays a factor. But that's why I say like end of first round in this type of draft is where I see Edey. Like give me Edey 25 to 30, somewhere in there. Lottery is just insane. And I love Zach Edey. And he is the going to be the back-to-back National Player of the Year. But nah, lottery pick. I'm sorry. That's blasphemy.
Okay. Where he ends up getting picked honestly doesn't matter that much to me, and maybe I'm unique in saying that, but I don't think like Edey's going to have a more or less successful career based on what draft slot he gets chosen. I
But
do think.
te-
What do you got?
team will matter though, right?
Situational matter, yeah, but like there's good teams that pick in the lottery, there's bad teams that pick late. Like the draft order is always random. Teams can trade up or down. The point is, like, if he gets picked 10th versus picked 30th, to me, I don't think that like dictates whether or not he's going to be a good NBA player. I feel very strongly that Zach Edey is going to be like a 10-year guy in the NBA and a rotation player. Like I don't think Zach Edey is going to be an end of bench guy that can't get in the game. I think with how good he is from the free throw line, that's the biggest thing. Like, he's still going to get fouled in the NBA all the time. And that's still like a higher points per possession than anything else you can get in NBA basketball. So he needs to find a right system. He needs to find a team, especially that like defensively can help him a little bit, because I think he'll get much more exposed with NBA spacing than he does. Like in college, he can really play drop coverage and teams just aren't going to be able to score at the rim. In the NBA, it's a little more spread out. He's going to have to get out further to the three-point line to try and chase people. Athletes are more explosive, quicker, all of that. He's not just going to be able to sit in the paint as much. He could pick up 3 seconds, right? So I think that's his biggest obstacle, but I still trust him to figure that out. Like, Edey moves incredibly well for how big he is. His stamina is like so much better than the other gargantuan big men who have been in the NBA. I truly, strongly believe the only comparison, I've said it before and you always laugh at me, the only comparison for him is Yao Ming. Like, that's the only comparison I see for this guy. And I don't think he's going to be as good as that, but I think he can be like a slightly worse version.
I can't wait for you to. Okay, first of all, Yao Ming like had some Paul Gasol to his game.
I think Edey has a little bit.
I know you're gonna fact check me on this, but why do I think that Yao Ming had a burner low key?
But like a burner from the line is what Zach Edey has. Like,
yeah, but Zach Edey hasn't even attempted a 3-point shot.
I'm pretty sure we've done this in the past, and you're wrong about Yao Ming having a burner. Let me
okay, not a burner, but like he attempts and makes threes.
Let me pull this up because, again, I'm pretty sure we've done this before, and it's not true. Yao Ming in his entire NBA career is 2 for 10 from the 3-point line.
That's okay. Yeah, we definitely have done this before. We have.
Yeah, the Yao's thing was he was an 83% free throw shooter. And he was unstoppable because of it. And Zach Edey can do that.
Well, also George Bush was in office when Yao Ming was doing that. Like, it's a different game.
So you don't think Yao Ming would be playable in this year's NBA?
No.
So what do you think Zach Edey is in the NBA?
I think he's like a Boban type player, but better.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Is it? Why?
Yeah, he's just a way better basketball player than Boban.
I think you're sleeping on Boban.
I think Boban can hoop, but like Edey's way more mobile. He has way more stamina. He's better defensively. I think he's better from the line, and Boban's good from the line. But like, I think he's a better post. Well, no, he's not a better post scorer. Boban has shit to him on the block. But like,
Edey's a better Boban to me.
I think if Boban could play 36 minutes a game and get up and down the floor, Boban would never come off the floor.
No, I think Boban can. The thing is that keeps him off the floor is just that it's just not, I guess, susceptible to today's NBA game is what it is.
I don't think he has stamina like that. I don't think he can move like that. I think Edey can actually move.
What's Edey? Okay, I'm not gonna do that whole thing because that's no NBA center. But like, what does Zach Edey look like checking Joel Embiid?
Just standing up, he'll do better than a lot of NBA bigs do.
What does he look like guarding Jokic?
Just standing up, he'll do a lot better than NBA bigs do.
All right,
Carl, you're a big man. Like, you telling me who's the biggest big man you've ever had to try and score against?
Probably like 7'1".
And was the 7'1" guy you went up against, was he the best big you ever played? Or was he just 7'1"?
He's just 7'1".
And was it still really hard to score over him because he's 7'1"?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not doing he's just big and nothing else, because part of Edey's game is he doesn't foul. Like, it's an incredible strength that he's so good at being vertical and not fouling. That's going to translate to the NBA. Like, and no, he's not going to shut down Jokic. No, he's not going to shut down Embiid because nobody does. But like against the average replacement level NBA center. Like Edey's going to be an asset, both offensively and defensively. I'll just die on this hill, man. I will die on this hill. He will be closer to the gargantuans that have been starting centers for years in the NBA than he will be like a guy that never gets off the bench.
So, like, who is his NBA comp? Like, is it
Yao
Yao
Ming.
Ming? Like,
It's Yao
can I
Ming.
get somebody? Can I get somebody in today's day and age?
There isn't one. There isn't one. Like you could do this with Luka Garza because it's like, okay, who's the guy that doesn't guard at all but is a really great shooter? Like there's comps. There is no comparison for who this guy is physically at all, other than Boban and Yao Ming. Which,
And
by the way,
and Wemby?
no, because he's so much stronger. Like
I mean,
Wemby still doesn't know. Wemby doesn't know who he wants to be. I know you're laughing. You meant that as a joke, but like you have to take that seriously. He's one of 3 guys I can think of that are that tall. Like that matters.
I understand it. I really do. But like the dude can't shoot outside of the paint.
I think you're underestimating the shooting ability with how good he is at the line. Like,
I mean, if I could see a glimmer of it or somewhere, a glimpse of it, I would buy
you
it more.
don't trust the shot at all. Like,
No,
he's an elite
no,
free throw shooter.
no. Yeah, I don't. I'm not on that translate bandwagon.
Even from the free throw line?
No, I think I think he's an amazing free throw shooter for his size. He's a great free throw shooter. I don't think that translates into anything as far as like shooting a jumper.
But does it, like with Yao Ming, did it have to? He was 2 for 10 from his career from 3.
Like I said, Bush was in office.
Okay, that's all we're doing. All right. So does Zach Edey ever start in an NBA game?
Yes.
Does he ever start for a whole season?
I wouldn't rule that out based on today's NBA teams.
What's the most points per game Zach Edey scores in his career in the NBA?
9.
I think he gets to double digits. If he was on the Detroit Pistons, he would be our blank best big.
He would be our second.
Be better than Isaiah Stewart?
Yeah.
Better than Bagley? Better than Wiseman?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of guys who got picked very highly in the NBA draft.
Yeah, 3 guys that also stink.
Where does he end up getting picked?
He'll go 29th to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay. I think he goes early second round. And I don't know how. I don't know if they own this pick or not. He's going to end up on the Spurs. I feel very confident in that.
Just somehow.
Dog, can you imagine Wemby and Edey on the court together?
It would be fun. Zach Collins at the 3.
What would anyone do? Like, seriously, what would anyone do? What would you do? I don't know how you do anything against that.
And there's something you could do.
I mean, that's just, if I'm Pop, you got to make that happen somehow. It'd be crazy. All right.